December, a group of workers within our organization basically took over Capitol Hill. It wasn't expected by no one, not even us. It was something that we decided to do at the moment. It wasn't planned. We just wanted to go there and give our message. At first, they didn't want to talk to us. Okay, so what do? You make them listen. And we did it our way. Okay, a group of, like I mentioned, a group of workers within our organization took over Capitol Hill. They stayed there for a couple of hours.
I think it was hours.
They stayed there, and they did indeed have the support of many people from this country, a support that wasn't expected also.
When you say took over, you actually occupied the...
Physically occupy the senator's seats.
The senators.
It's important because they have it's important to take the context that what was going on there. They impose a hearing, an extraordinary how do I say
extraordinary session.
Extraordinary session to approve the law 160.
This is right.
They try to do so on Christmas because the teachers were in Christmas because the teachers were in the schools and can make an action to protest. But the situation is that teachers, in this case the FMPR, and our president Maria Elena Lara, take the Senate to stop the hearing, the project that was going on there, and to protest against this assault that was going on. In that way, it was important because never in this country had happened. I think
we stopped the hearings.
It was historically.
It was historically, and the other thing is that we put the issue on the media, not only locally, but
it was on the map.
On the map, the issue of the pensions, and it contributes to elevate and to improve the level of struggle that was going on, and give the alert that of the intentions of this government.
I mean, but it wasn't just La Federación.
There was many organizations, but the
takeover itself.
It was only La Federación.
But within the galleries, there were other groups. All the groups participated that day.
From different organizations.
And we stopped the works of the Senate.
The Senate.
And the Senate have to move to other building to develop the process for the hearings of the law, because we stopped it there in the Capitol Hill. I think that dramatizes the conviction, the force of the teachers. We know that the government is afraid of us. They do that in Christmas evening.
Christmas Eve,
because they are afraid of teachers. And that action dramatizes our fight, but also is a message. Yes, you approve today the law, but we will make the struggle and we will fight back to take out that law, to
revoke
the law. And I think that actually we are fighting and we are working with that. And this moment, a few days ago, we have a big assembly and the assembly decided to make a strike, and we joined two issues that are very important for us. We will develop a strike to revoke Law 160, but at the same time we will do a strike to boycott the standard test, because that is the mechanism that is using the government to privatize our union, our schools. They are using the standard test to justify the privatization of our school. It's a mechanism also to move the budget of the school to the privatizers, and we think that the standard test make like a level to make our strike stronger and more efficient against the government, and we will combine both issues. So many times in US, the people feels weak when they are going to find the test. We discover that the real weakness is for the government. If we make a strike to stop the test, they are very weak.
So the testing is being used, as an instrument by the government to declare schools failures, to declare teachers failures, and then they use it to, well, in the United States we're very clear about that, because it's used to close schools, and then to put in the charter schools, or transformation school, or turnaround schools, or just to shut them down and put the charter school. So you're saying that's the reason why it's important to stop it and use this as leverage, because if they use it, from what I understand too, if you do the testing, that will represent money coming in from the federal government, because they have to use tests.
And also it's a mechanism for the privatization of schools. What we want to do is to fight back against the 160 law, but at the same time to fight back against the privatization process of the school.
Which begins with the testing.
That exactly.
Let's go back a little bit, because I think after the Capitol takeover, even though the law was passed in the Senate by one vote, from what I understand, just one vote, so there was a lot of pressure on the Senate. What happened after that? The law didn't actually get implemented, right?
Yes. Teachers decided to do a strike, a 2-day strike, and in January, the very first day of class, and we stopped all of the schools, right?
That's
all
true.
the schools.
Every single school.
Yes, every single school. The judicial system decided to stop the law, even though it was passed by of course by the governor, who was
the
one
Supreme
that
Court.
Legislative
and
branch
also the legislative branch. The judicial system decided to stop the law because they saw our struggle. Not only that, they saw that the communities and people in general supported the teachers. So they decided to look at the law more carefully, or at least that's what they're saying.
So the Supreme Court of Puerto Rico is reviewing.
Yes, it's reviewing currently the law, and the governor has made various attempts for them to just stop reviewing the law and go ahead and approve it or say something about it. And the government, the Supreme Court has said that they are still reviewing the law, and they're going to make a decision hopefully by the end of this month.
The end of March.
The end of March.
What is your opinion about what's going to happen at the end of March with the Supreme Court? Do you have any thoughts about that?
I would like to say that they're going to do the same thing that they did with their, or more or less the same thing that they did with their own law, but sometimes it's hard to believe in our own Supreme Court because of previous decisions that they have made within our history. I would like to see a positive outcome for teachers, but we'll just have to wait and see.
So just a clarification, yeah.
Not just wait and see.
But-
We're doing things. We're struggling in our streets, but at the same time, we need to be paying attention to their decision.
But the judges had their pension systems attacked and they revoked that.
Yes.
So that you're looking hopefully for them to revoke that, but you're not gonna.
The same
That-
judges
Yeah.
revoke their own
Yeah.
system.
They approve.
They're going to keep their
they
rights.
approve
They're going to keep their rights.
Yeah.
That's what we want, to keep our rights.
Right.
So
But
it's pretty-
the issue is
Uh-huh.
that they approve their own version of the reform, but making some changes in how they were going to implement. They implemented that for the judges that are
For new judges.
for the new judges. The law is constitutional, but for the old judges it's not constitutional. But the situation
It's
here
really
that we don't have
yeah.
any expectation, real expectation about how the court is going to perform or to rule. The situation here is that court is the same that destroy the pensions system of the public workers, and it's the same court that validates the law 7. You know, the law 7 fired like 30,000 workers, and we can't expect
It's
a
the same
different
that they certify the
outcome.
federal
That's
system.
it.
So-
we can expect a different behavior of the court that rules if they in favor of the ruling.
So you're not
class.
gonna rely on the
We don't
court
rely.
system.
And
And
if the ruling is in favor of the teachers,
Then-
everybody likes candies, but you know they are very against workers.
very doubtful, very
Yeah.
doubtful.
We,
So,
we continue our struggle and we are preparing our teachers for a big struggle. But you know, the Supreme Court has its own process. But as I said, if they are in favor of us, that will surprise us. But you never know. But we cannot put our future in a lottery. We have to prepare our people and our school for a big struggle to stop not only the attack against our pension system, also we have to stop the neoliberal attack against our school. You know that in Puerto Rico is the only place that we don't have charter schools, but that was a big struggle. We make a 10-day strike in 2008 to stop charter schools. They want to put now charter school and transformation, all the things, but we are fighting them.
so anyway, so we'll come back in a little while. We talked a little about some of the current struggles, the takeover of the Capitol, the occupation, as we would say it in the States. You have the 2-day work stoppage, the 2-day strike, and I'm sure from what I read in the papers and the media, there's been a lot of activity at all the different schools. I know that you're all doing workshops and things like that.
We talked about the process in the union, about how that occurred. How did it happen that you voted to go on strike?
Yeah, well, we do have rules and processes here that we follow. We did an assembly, and the members proposed to the executive committee for them to evaluate the possibility of a strike, but not just any strike. The date of this strike is determined for the government to do something about their decision for revoking this law. So the members asked the committee for them to evaluate that possibility, and then we had a second assembly, a bigger one, and we all voted for a strike the day before or 2 days before the standardized tests and the immense majority of our members, only 4 members, right?
Yeah.
Decided against the strike. So that's basically our next
Almost
step.
unanimous vote.
Yeah, almost
Right.
unanimous.
What was the count? Like around
Around
300?
It was
250.
150 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe less. No, I was thinking I don't know.
But it was the vast majority voted to have the strike
Yes.
and to have it at that particular time.
In our assembly, we have a lot of debate,
Mhm.
but at the end, we were very united. And all, well, mostly everybody were agreed to develop the strike and to stop the standard test. And for our teachers, that link is powerful. And also, that link is very powerful for the communities, because in Puerto Rico, Federación had made a lot of work to denounce the standard test as a fraude, you say.
Fraudulent.
Fraudulent. They are fraudulent. Yes. And we think that the reality is that most of the parents and the students support the boycott. At the same time, most of the teachers make a real link between privatization of schools and the test, and also we know that is a strong level to leverage to push the government against the wall to win
To revoke the law.
revoking law.
And I understand the Federation of Teachers have been waging a campaign against standardized testing over
From 1991.
from 1991. That's a long period. So there is some consciousness among teachers and the community
Yes.
around the importance to boycott them.
And in 1991, I was I suffered the repression of the Department of Education because I was part of the movement to boycott the test. And when I said before that I was fired also as I was the president of the union when we fight against the government, because a few years ago they want to destroy our retirement system and we fight back. We won that battle, but they repressed the direction of FMPR, and 11 of our members were fired as teachers. And we are fighting that in courts, but usually in courts, and the things for the workers are very lento.
Well, they revoked your licenses, but you were able to win your
You
license.
got your
But
license
you
back?
were
But not your
fired
job.
because you
Yes.
refused to give the tests? Is
Yes,
that
that was in 1991.
it?
This
That was
time
a
it
long
was
time
because
ago.
of the strike.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people, teachers and other workers in the United States or other unions talk about, well, how can we support the FMPR? How can we support the teachers in Puerto Rico? What would you say about that?
Well, there's many ways. I mean, we can share our own experiences, and nowadays, distance is not a problem because we have technology, and we can, for example, share with them how we here do not have, for example, charter schools, and they do have in the States. So we can talk about some of the strategies that they have done in the States and also us. Also, besides sharing strategies, they should be able to once they know what we're going through, to share those experiences with their colleagues as well.
For us, solidarity is a key issue in this process, because by now most of workers we are facing huge attacks, and they're trying also to destroy our unions and destroy all the rights that we have. So we have a solidarity issue as a priority to converge in that response to the capital attacks against us. And for example, the teachers that right now are doing a boycott against the ISET on Chicago, from the schools. I don't know the name of school.
There's two schools.
There's two schools.
In Chicago.
They give us a huge hug of solidarity in our process against the law 160. And for us, this is the same, because we know that they're facing, they're dealing with a huge challenge that they're struggling for, and that is very important because we get closer, and that's the first thing to move to other type of coordination and to articulate an international response to that.
Workers are, we are the same social class, we are workers. And to share experience is the more powerful mechanism to support us, but at the same time it is a very powerful mechanism to support each other. Not only in US, also in Canada, also in Mexico. We have the same struggle, but we have to look that in the Puerto Rico experience is very particular, because it's the same. We are fighting against the same law. We are fighting against No Child Left Behind, against charter schools, against transformation, flexibility. We are not so different from teachers in Chicago, Los Angeles, or New York. The difference between us is that we have a different history, but we are the same, and I think that for us it's very important to support the struggle in US, because sometimes we won here, but the privatizers go again and attack, and always we have an attack that came from the federal level, and we have to support and to make a stronger movement in US to stop the attack that comes and comes again, because in a long term, to win the battle, we need to make a joint effort between the teachers in US and the teachers in Puerto Rico.
And what would you say about other unions? You know that, for example, I represent a nurses union, and there are other unions that are industrial unions that represent, industries. What's the significance for those organizations here and in Puerto Rico and also in the United States in terms of the battle that you're fighting?
Well, in Puerto Rico, most of the unions are weak, because they have suffered for many years a big attack against them. In this, teachers is maybe one of the strongest one. Not only one union, it's like a movement of teachers. It's very strong. But at the present time, we have a very huge attack against the electrical workers, and also with the workers of the water system and transportation. And I think that maybe the next 1st of May, most of us and also outside from Puerto Rico will see a very strong movement, because the attack is so huge, so generalized, so broad, that we are going to join each other to support each other.